Would you like ChatGPT and the other LLMs to recommend your products to their users? Well, there's just 5 things you have to do. But first, just imagine what that would be like. Like, imagine right now, let's just say a year ago or 2 years ago, that you had top #1 positions for every one of your keywords in SEO. What would that do to your business? Imagine the growth your business would have experienced if you had that. Well, we are in the early days of this, and almost nobody has moved over to this new way. This is replacing SEO. SEO will be dead. For e-commerce businesses, SEO is already down 50% for the average e-commerce business from 2024 to 2025. Okay, it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. 2 to 3 years from now, nobody SEO won't even exist. And think about it. Already, over 55% of searches are being directed to the LLMs. So it's your own search behavior. Think about it lately. What have you been doing? Have you been typing in keywords in Google to search for things you want, or have you been asking ChatGPT or whatever LLM you use to be able to find you the best of, right? So instead of typing in hiking boots or whatever, what you do instead is you ask ChatGPT, what's the best hiking boots for walking on loose terrain that's under $200? And then it'll go all over the internet, figure it out, do the research, and then bring back maybe 1 to 5 different results for you, right? So you got to look at it like that from now on. So how do you get the LLMs to recommend your products instead of your competitors? Because this will happen. They're either going to recommend your competitors' products or they can recommend yours. But it's very important that you exist in the eyes of the LLMs. And the problem is, most people don't understand that normal SEO tactics, even if you did get the #1 results, will not help you at all when it comes to having the LLMs recommend your products to their users. They will skip right past you if you don't have things set up correctly. Now, if you do already have if you're already ranking for a lot of keywords, you are definitely going to have a head start, but what you got you there will not get you here. So it's very important. You have to adapt or you will not be found very soon. And somebody that adapted before you, a smaller competitor, they will destroy you and take your launch. So it's very, very important that you learn how to do this. And it's not that hard, but you got to do it, and you have to take it serious and you need to implement this right now, because the next 12 months is going to make and break companies, especially companies that are reliant on SEO traffic. But I have a prediction that it's going to even hurt companies that are reliant on just advertising alone. I think there's a good chance that things shift so much to the LLMs that we don't even know what's going to happen, right? So it's very important for the existence of your company that you are getting recommended by the LLM. So here's how to do it. So #1, you have to allow them to even spider your site, and you have to give them information, right? So how do you do that? Well, #1, you have to make sure that your robot.txt is not blocking them. So a lot of sites by default, their robot.txt will block the LLMs. If you use Cloudflare, they automatically will block the LLMs. So it's very important that you make sure that your robot.txt is allowing the LLMs to spider your site. That's very, very important. Otherwise, you are literally stopping them from even going on your website. And that ain't good, right? They're not going to recommend you if you don't allow them on your website. So that's #1. Make sure that is taken care of. The next thing you want to do is update your schemas. So it's very important that you have a product schema, you have an article schema, you have a review schema, and you have an FAQ schema. Those are very, very important. You need all of those. You also, while I'm talking about FAQ, you need a long, detailed, massive FAQ that's written out in conversational language. Whether you can see it on your website or not, it's very important that you have a schema that has a long, documented, huge FAQ that answers every possible question you can possibly think of, and use AI to come up with more questions to build that out. It's very, very important that you have a long, detailed FAQ. That's FAQ schema, not just an FAQ. It's also very good to have a good FAQ on your site that's visible to users as well, but that one doesn't have to be nearly as long. The next thing you have to do is you have to understand EEAT. EAT. Okay, so what does that mean? #1, that means experience. That's the first E. The next E is expertise. The A is authority, and the T is trustworthiness. So everything you do has to go through that filter, and that's very important for the SEO of today. Google just came out with the spam SEO update, and it's all about this, right? So it's very, very important that you filter everything you do on the internet through this lens, okay? So you have to build yourself and your company up to have experience, be the expert, have authority, and be trustworthy. So whatever you say is true, right? There's no BS, there's no lies, There's no overhyping things. There's no, everything that you do, all the claims that you make, they need to have some sort of verified evidence. So like, let's say you have a supplement brand and you say it does a certain thing. Well, you better show a study on your website that proves that. And it's very important that you do that. So even if you make the claim, if you don't show the study, if you don't source the study, it's going to be negative. It's going to be considered not true. And the LLMs are very intelligent, so they will think that you're full of it. So you have to show your sources. You have to explain why are you making that claim. It's very important. That's probably good for legal reasons as well. Now, with EEAT in mind, number 2 is you need articles, okay? And you need articles that position you as a company that has experience, as a thought leader that has experience, expertise, your authority, and you're trustworthy. Every one of your articles needs to go through that lens, right? So it's very important too that your articles are good quality content that actually will help the reader. So that's important. It can't just be a bunch of AI garbage. Now, it's also extremely important that if you have AI write your articles, that they all pass AI detection at least 20% or lower. So when you throw it in an AI detection software, it will let you know, okay, well, it seems like 20% of this article was written by AI. You want to keep that 20% or lower. It's very important. If you go over that, you're going to get flagged and it's going to just hurt you. You might as well not use the article because it'll do more harm than good. So very, very important that you use AI detection for all of your articles, even if a human wrote them. Because let's just, just because a human wrote the article doesn't mean it won't fail AI detection. So it's very, very important that you're looking that up on every article you post. Now, where do you post these articles? You post them on your own website. You post them on Medium. You post them on Quora. You can post them on X now. You can post them if your product is related to business, post them on LinkedIn. You can also post on Reddit, but be careful on Reddit because things can get out of hand. Reddit is a gold mine. If your refund rate is high, you'll probably get destroyed on Reddit. So you might want to skip over that one. Or hey, why don't you improve your product if that's the case? Speaking of that, this new world we're going in is the no BS world, right? So if your product is not good and it doesn't live up to the expectations that you sell it as, you better change your business model because this new future we're going into is the no BS future, right? So you can no longer, gone are the days where you can just make wild claims that you can't back up and your product doesn't really live up to and be able to keep in business. It's just not going to work. You might be able to do traditional advertising for a little bit longer, but even soon that won't work either. You might as well just have a real legitimate business that doesn't do that type of thing and you'll be good to go. Now, what type of articles do you write? Well, again, you have to put them through the filter that you're an expert, that you have experience, that you're an authority and trustworthiness, okay? So the types of articles. So you can do like the top whatever product of 2025. Things like that are very, very good. How-to guides, alternatives as well. So like, let's say you're not the top brand in your category. So let's use mushroom coffee as an example. Mudwater is probably one of the top ones, right? So you could do an article like the top 5 Mudwater alternatives. Things like that are really, really good. Behind the scenes content. Articles about specific reviews. So so your best reviews, you can actually interview your customers, have pictures, a full article and everything on them. That stuff is beautiful and they will eat that up. User-generated content. So where you send out your product to some sort of authority, right? Even a smaller one, somebody that influencer, even has a smaller audience in your market, but somebody that is in your market, or if you can afford a higher level authority in your market, send out your product, have them do some user-generated content, and post that on your blog. Competitor comparisons. So where you make a graph, make sure it's made out of HTML because Java is not read through the LLMs, and just show like all the features of your products and all the benefits of your products versus your competitors, and just show how yours beats the competitor, especially the top competitor in your marketplace. The LLMs love that type of stuff, but make sure that it's made out of just HTML, no Java, nothing like that. A very simple table. Heck, you can even have any of the LLMs make it for you. ChatGPT 5 can even make it for you. But those types of things work really, really well. Any type of articles that position you as an authority in your marketplace or somebody that actually has experience. So whatever your product solves, even have articles that are not related to your product of how to solve the problem that your customers are trying to solve. So any type of how-to guide, anything you can think of that is educational that will help your customers achieve what they want, whether it's with your product or not, those types of articles will build you up as an authority in the marketplace. Number 4, already went into it a little bit in number 3, but have authorities and content creators in your marketplace create content and post it on their feeds in their social medias as well. That's going to be extremely good. So you can post stuff that they do for you on your own blogs, on sites like Medium and Quora and stuff like that. That's all great. But if you can get them to post it on their feeds, that's going to be even better. So you want to do that as well. But both is optimal. And number 5, this one is an extremely fast tactic that can get the LLMs talking about you really, really fast, and that is press releases. So what you want to do is you want to create a press release that positions you or your product as the top product in the marketplace without necessarily saying it's the number one product in the marketplace, unless there's some sort of media that says you are the number one. But there's other ways to do it where you can position yourself as the best without necessarily having to prove it, right? So you got to be a little creative with that, but there's a lot of different ways. You can literally just ask ChatGPT, hey, this is my product. How can I position myself in a press release as the top in my category without actually saying I'm the top in the category, right? And then it'll help come up with some ideas on how you can do that. But basically, that's going to position you as an authority in your marketplace. So the very first thing that's very, very important, though, is make sure your robot text is allowing them to crawl your site. Your schema's all built out. After that, you can go right to the press releases, and then you want to start posting these articles. Now, when it comes to articles, I recommend 1 article a day, but you cannot do more than 2 per week per platform. So, for example, if you can post on your own website, you can do maybe two a week on your own website, on your own blog. But that doesn't stop you from creating articles on medium.com, Quora, Reddit, LinkedIn, X, and anywhere else you can post articles. So what you want to do is have a goal of 5 days a week, you're posting articles. Now, one thing that's important is make sure that none of these articles are on the exact same topic on the same week. So they're 5 completely unique articles on completely separate topics. Now, a month later, 2 months later, 3 months later, you can go back, let's say on your own website, you did the top 5 products of 2025. Well, maybe you can do the top 7 products of 2025 in Quora next month or something like that. So you can break it up like that where they're similar, but you just don't want to run both of those in the same week. And again, make sure that you are putting all your articles in an AI detection tool to make sure that you're under 20% detection. You do all this and you will have the LLMs recommend your products to their users, and you will be ahead of all your competition. But you got to get it going on this right now. Because think about this, 5 articles a week, over time, over a whole year, you're going to have hundreds of articles out there positioning you as an authority. They'll be on all of these things and doing multiple press releases a month. You're going to be all over the place as an authority, as an expert, as a company that has experience, trustworthiness, all of that stuff. And you're going to be telling the LLMs that your products are the very best to recommend. So no matter where you're at right now with your SEO, do this over the course of 60 days, and you'll easily be ranked. Do it over the course of 6 months, and you're definitely going to be ranked a lot. Or when I say ranked, I mean recommended. And over the course of a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, you will become unstoppable, and you'll have such a head start that no competitor will ever catch back up. That's what you want to do. So anyways, get at this right now. If you need help with this, I personally can help you. Just click the link in the description, and you can schedule a call. We can get on a call, and if we find we're a good fit, we can work together. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this. Please give it a thumbs up, a like, hit notifications, all that stuff. Subscribe to my channel. I'll be putting more out like this. So talk to you soon. Bye.